All right. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here live on the Greiner Bio 1 Facebook page to talk with our team of product specialists here today about a new and exciting product that Greiner has launched, the EvoProtect. We're going to hear all about it today, and we're also going to discuss some innovative ways that Greiner has been able to train on this product and also some of our other safety products through our product specialist team. As we know, this past year has made its own set of challenges, and those challenges were definitely present for training as far as safety products goes, and making sure that we are doing our due diligence to reduce needle stick injuries for anybody doing phlebotomy work in the healthcare sector right now. Super important. And so I'm really happy to talk to the three of you today about all of those different aspects, and especially the EvoProtect. So I'm going to just share with you guys right now, really quickly, a picture of the product that we are going to be looking at today. So this on your screen is a picture of our EvoProtect product. It is a semi-automatic in-vein activated device, and we're going to hear a lot more about it from the team today, but it is new to the market, and it's just a wonderful product, and I'm so excited to have you guys talk a little bit about what your favorite features are. But first, let's make sure that those people who are jumping on live with us right now know who our experts are that we're talking to today from our product specialist team. So before we jump into some of these questions, let's start maybe with Sharon, and then Leanne, and then Eddie. If you would just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what you do for Greiner.
Hi, my name is Sharon Scott. I'm a product specialist with Greiner Bio 1. I have been with the company 3 years, and it's been an absolute wonderful 3 years. Prior to working for Greiner Bio 1, I worked at a community college in Northwest Indiana, Ivy Tech Community College. I was the phlebotomy program director for 25 years and the lead instructor. And then before then, I worked at the local hospital where I live as a lab assistant. And I've had literally 43 years worth of drawing experience. I'm still trying to figure out where 43 years has gone. So I welcome you all, and I'm going to pass the mic.
Hi, I'm Leanne Delakelly. I'm Senior Product Specialist with Greiner Bio 1. I've been with the company for 8 years. My first experience with phlebotomy was training under a nurse's course in the 80s. And since then, of course, I've had the formal training. And in between all of that, I started a business, was successful, but went back to my passion, which is phlebotomy. So happy to be with Greiner Bio 1. Really happy to be introducing this device today, which is a game changer on the market. So glad you joined. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey everyone, my name is Eduardo Zamora. I usually go by Eddie. I have been a phlebotomist in California since 2014. And in that time, I've had opportunities to work in hospitals throughout Southern California. And I've also had the opportunity to teach and be a phlebotomy instructor. Most recently, I've moved into this product specialist position with Greiner Bio 1, where I'm able to speak to technicians all over the country and hear about awesome products like the one we're going to go over today. So I'm super excited about all of this.
Excellent. Thank you all so much. And I realized I didn't introduce myself. So I'm Mackenzie Ferron-Waite. I'm the Senior Manager of Corporate Communications for Greiner Bio 1. And I did just put in the chat just before we get started, if you have any questions or comments, anything at all that you want to know about this product, about our product specialist team, and about the virtual training that we're going to talk about, or if you would like to see your own personal product demonstration for EvoProtect or a sample of the product to try it out for yourself, I did put a link in the comments there so that you can request that and get to work with some of these wonderful people to see a little bit more about the product. So let's jump in a little bit. So obviously we're here first and foremost to talk about our newest product, the EvoProtect. So I was wondering, Leanne, could you give us just a brief overview of the product and what makes it different than other safety devices that might be out there on the market that are similar?
So our VACUETTE EVOPROTECT safety blood collection set is very different from any other product out on the market right now. It is semi-automatic, so that just means that when you're ready to retract the needle from the patient's vein, you leave it in the vein, and you push the side buttons. Now the side buttons are on the side, so there's no premature activation by accidentally hitting the top of the device. We all hold it differently, so we wanted to put those side buttons on the side so that we don't prematurely activate that. And the greater thing about this device is that it's very gentle to the patient. For all of us who have used another push button device on the market and we pull it out to so that it is not uncomfortable to the patient, this one, you leave it in the vein. It's very gentle in the retraction. So patient comfort is always the greatest goal in our business. So very excited about that.
Excellent. I'll pull up that picture once more as well. And if anyone else wants to jump in, please feel free. I'll share my screen again just to show kind of what Leanne had just mentioned, which was the, hopefully you can see this. We're trying this screen share for the first time in here. So, but if you can see, you can kind of see where the safety feature buttons are that Leanne mentioned here on the sides of the device versus the top of the device, which is pretty unique. I don't know, Sharon and Eddie, if you have anything to add about how this is a little bit different than others that you've seen or used in your careers.
I was going to say what I love about the device the most is the retraction. I actually allowed someone to collect blood from me because I'm a firm believer in if I'm going to speak about something, then I need to experience that. And so the incision, the draw, the stick was perfect. I did not feel it. And then when we talk about the retraction, I'm in the process right now of working with a group of people. They're evaluating Evo. One of the biggest comments that they made to me was that they're concerned about the retraction. How does it feel? Is it uncomfortable to the patient? And things like that. Would it affect those fragile vein walls? And I shared with them, no, the retraction is just that gentle. And then another piece, how we train with this new device. Standard, we train with the latex fake arm. Many people, those of you who did phlebotomy school, lab tech school, you had that fake arm. This device is so gentle that we literally had to use a foam device in order for the needle to properly retract. So it is that's what I love. That's what I absolutely love about the device, and I expect everyone else would love that as well.
Yeah, just to build off of Sharon. So I think one of the most exciting things about this device is that you can just use it to activate the safety device. It's semi-automatic. So by pressing those two side buttons, it is semi-automatic. And if those of you who are watching around the country, you may have never seen a semi-automatic needle or even known that this product was available on the market. And so I know when we're phlebotomists and we work in a lab or a hospital, we're kind of only able to use what product that hospital has. And so we don't get to see or be exposed to all the great, innovations that are happening in the world of phlebotomy. And so if you see this product, if you like it, and you want to have it in your hands, I highly recommend reaching out to your leadership and letting them know, hey, that looks cool. I think it would be a great way to help me, to help my patients, to feel more comfort. And so that's what makes me most excited about that.
That's excellent. And as someone who does not have a career history as a phlebotomist, but it has gotten my blood drawn many times in my life, that is music to my ears as well. Because, all of us have had our blood drawn before, and we understand that the experience can be an exceptional one, or it can be, not so great, depending on products that are being used in the phlebotomy skill level. So hearing that as kind of the end user patient is wonderful. So Sharon, I know obviously you had a long, illustrious history and career in this field, and have tried many different products across the spectrum. So can you tell us a little bit about what do you like the most about the handling of this product versus other products that you've used in the past?
What I like the most, I'll begin with, well, you told me most, so I've got to single it down to one. I love that I don't have to worry about a premature retraction, that I accidentally pushed the button, or while I was putting it, stocking my tray, the activation accidentally occurred. This, in order for it to activate, you have to, with purpose and intention, do the activation. So I think that's what I like the most about it.
Yeah, I think on my side, I don't know if we mentioned this yet, but the needle of this device is hollowed out. And so what that means is that the needle of our device, of the EvoProtect, is thinner. The walls are thinner of the needle, allowing more of a blood flow to come into the needle and into the tubing and to ultimately into our blood tubes. And so I think that that's very exciting, especially when you're using a set like this, winged set, right, or butterfly needles. As a phlebotomist, sometimes you have to use a smaller gauge, a 23 gauge needle. And one of the parts that you don't dread, but you kind of know to expect, is that the pull of that needle is going to be very slow, that there's an increased chance for hemolysis, right, which is the breakdown of red blood cells. But with the thin walls of this needle and it having a wider bore, gives you the opportunity to not only pull a little bit more blood, but also maintain the high quality of those red blood cells. So that's what I love most.
And I would say for mine, the gentle retraction is my absolute favorite thing about the device. Again, coming from another device where we may tend to pull it out, so it's gentle for the patient, that involves a live needle plus a documented splatter that you have. So to be able to leave it in the patient's vein and retract it, reducing all of that exposure is really the best feature.
Yeah, and Leanne, to that point, so that's a great point, and I'd love to ask you to expand on that just a little bit. So, obviously we had mentioned that this has an in-vein retraction, and if we were using another device on the market and it was pulled out and retracted, what exactly are the risks that you're running when you do something like that? When it is out of vein and and you're not following necessarily the protocol that you should, because you're sacrificing that for patient comfort of when the activation happens. What exactly is the risk that the phlebotomist is taking?
So I think the risk is always needle exposure, but more importantly, we're at that point that you're using a semi-automatic device, you're also paying that premium price to ensure that there is no needle exposure whatsoever. So if the majority of your staff feel that there's discomfort to your patient and they remove that needle, your cost savings are now not there, because they're actually doing what is not meant to be done with the device. And then, of course, you do have that live needle, which anything can happen at that point. And you have documented splatter. When you activate that safety, there's a documented splatter that occurs at that point. I've actually seen people, I talked to a nurse once who said she didn't have any splatter because she took the gauze, she took the tip of the needle and removed the blood from the needle tip before actually activating it, which is a safety issue just doing that. So really nice that it is gentle for the patient and is retracted right there immediately, no matter the situation.
Excellent, thank you. So I know that this is a relatively new product to the market, but we have started to see some people adopt the EvoProtect. There's a lot of excitement in the industry about this for the reasons that we talked about, right? It takes care of some of the pain points for similar products that are on the market. They're resolved with this one, making it easier to use, more comfortable for the patient, runs the gamut of things, right, that makes this a great product. So I would love to talk, and maybe Eddie, you can field this one. How do you think that this change will be received? Because I know there's a lot of people who have been phlebotomists for a very long time, and it seems like everybody has their opinion, right? There are some people who will only use straight needles. I'll never use a butterfly. There's people who insist on using butterfly needles. And there seems to be a lot of loyalty to the product that specific phlebotomist would like to use. So can you maybe talk a little bit about how do you think that end users or phlebotomists or med techs are going to accept this product or be willing to look at this type of change?
I think with any change, right, there's always a little bit of resistance and a little bit of fear of the unknown, right? And that's with any change, whether it's a device or, changing a product that you use in your everyday life. But I think once you use that product, once you give it a chance and you come at it with an open mind, you really are going to enjoy it, right? So I think a lot of people, when the iPhone came out, right, it was cool, especially this big innovation of technology, and that's what we're doing here. We're innovating the technology of a blood collection needle. And so I think everyone, if you're watching this or if you have an interest or a passion for phlebotomy, that you should at the very least consider the technology that's behind it, consider the comfort that it's going to give to your patient, and the smooth transition that you will have by using a semi-automatic device. So I think and I hope that ultimately it will be received well, that people are going to be excited to use it. And I think that the most important thing we can do is to get this product into the hands of those technicians so that they can see for themselves, right? We can sit here and we can tell you about this device, but I really love it. I love to see people have it in their hand and use it and have that aha moment and be like, wow, this really is easy and this can really benefit our patients.
Yeah, so that's a question that maybe I have for all of you as well. Is like, as you started to roll this out and show this to customers, what are their reactions? When a phlebotomist is seeing this for the first time and it's really innovative as far as how you activate the safety and where the safety mechanism is, the extra thin-walled needle, all the things that we talked about, that flow rate, all of those things being improved. I would love to hear what feedback have you received as you started to show this to people. Maybe Sharon, we'll start with you, and we can just go around and hear what you've been told.
One of my first sites that I worked with, they absolutely loved. Let's begin with the flow. Okay, they were just they absolutely loved how fast the blood flowed, and that was something Eddie brought up earlier. So, and they were like, "Oh my God, this Bluetooth filled up so quickly," and so they loved that. Then the other piece that they talked about too was that they did not feel the retraction. They were literally stunned. And so Sharon, like what Eddie said, the biggest piece is this: try it, be open-minded. And that's what we share, and that's what I always share when I'm training. Be open-minded. A lot of people, we really don't like change. I always share with people the story about my mother and my dad's car. My dad bought, when the first push button cars came out, you press the brake, push the button. My mother absolutely refused to drive my dad's car because there were no keys. And so when I share that story with people I'm training, I'm like, don't be like my mother, even though I love my mother dearly. Yes, I did. I love my mother dearly, but be open to change. And the other part about it is, the more diverse you are with the equipment that you can use, the more marketable you are. So think about in terms of that as well. Your ability to work different places and things like that. I think that's the other piece. It's important.
And I want to echo both Sharon and Eddie. The more experience you have in absolutely every product on the market, you are just a value added to your employer. That definitely is really a bonus to any employer. With the flow rate, you can use a 23 gauge with our EvoProtect, and it flows like a 21 gauge. So it gives you that quick flow that we may be looking for as we use perhaps a lot of tubes. We need to fill a lot of tubes, and that patient demands a butterfly, as we know a lot may do at this point. So that's really a great feature of this device.
Just to add on to both points, I think using this device, like Sharon said, right, being open to change and innovation. Although phlebotomy has been something that we have done as a society for a long time, right? The licensing and just the regulation of the phlebotomy world, I feel, is fairly new, and there's always changes being made. And so being up to date on those changes and being up to date on the products that are coming out, like you said, Leanne, makes you more marketable to an employer. So definitely keeping an open mind is the way to do it.
And I'm going to throw one more thing in. The important too is your safety. Okay. You want the safest device that's available on the market. And that's what this device is about. When we talk about invariant retraction, when we talk about automatic, semi-automatic retraction, that is the safest way to go into safety. And so it comes back to you're literally, I used to tell my students all the time, it's your life. Okay. And so you want to protect yourself, and you want to have the best piece of equipment that's available out there for your safety, because as we all know, bloodborne pathogens are real.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we have a webinar coming up soon where we'll be talking to someone who has dealt with that exact tragedy in her life of a needle stick injury in her career that changed the whole trajectory of her life. Before, that it was a requirement that a lot of these products, or all of these products, have safety features on them. And I think that that's a great segue as well into talking about training, because obviously products like the EvoProtect that have that in-vein activation and that focus on trying to make sure that drawing situation is as safe as possible for both the person drawing the blood and the patient is extremely important. But that's only one portion of it, right? The other portion is the training and making sure that people understand how to properly utilize those safety features and make sure that they're keeping themselves safe in that manner as well. And in the last year, we know that COVID-19 has changed everything. So, prior to the pandemic, you guys were road warriors out in the field, in hospitals and facilities, almost every day of the year. I don't know how you did it. And you all seem to love it at the same time, which is incredible to me.
Yes.
But you were in hospitals, you were on the floors, you were talking to every single user and training them and making sure that they knew how to use the product hands-on. When we could no longer go into hospitals, obviously that changed.
Yes.
So I'd love for an explanation, and maybe Sharon, this can come from you, a quick explanation about how did the product specialist team at Greiner pivot the way that we were training people on these safety features of our products to make sure that they knew how to be safe and that we were doing our due diligence as educators. How did we do that?
Man, how we did that. First of all, it is so awesome how we pivoted, okay? Being on the road and then going to what we refer to as a virtual world. We implemented what we refer to as gold, and we probably had it implemented, which is I am so proud of my manager, Diane Band. Hey, give her a shout out very quickly. My manager and my coworkers. We started what was called gold, and Michelle McLean, who came up with this name, and it basically is Greiner Bio One online learning on demand. And so what happened is that we've all got really fancy technical. We've all got cameras at home. We've got the wonderful backdrops and things like that. And we learned how to train virtually in the virtual world. And so it was, we knew what we needed to do. We've demoed the equipment, hundreds, thousands of times. So it was a matter of having the right things at home, the correct lighting, the correct type of camera. So that way we make sure that our attendees and viewers can see our hands and positioning and things like that. For them to even hear us clearly and things like that. So we made that transition. And it is, when I say it has been successful, yes, I miss being on the road. I'll be the first one. I whine about that all the time, but I'm not going to whine now. But nonetheless, we have been able to master training people virtually. Okay. It's a beautiful thing. At one point in time, at any point in time, I can be in 5 different locations. What do I mean by 5 different locations? I can be in California, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas, all at the same time. How? Virtually. So that was a wonderful part about this transition. We're able to accomplish so much more than when we were on the road because we're able to engage more people. We're able to, in different locations, we're able, when I was in the hospital, I was on one unit. Well, guess what? I can do a hospital and I can be on all units simultaneously. And let's throw in some clinics that are also there. We can all be online at one time. So that's a wonderful feature of it. And then the other piece is they have instant access with us, feedback and things like that. If we need to troubleshoot, we're just literally an email away. So it's an awesome thing, the response time and what we were able to do. Kudos out to my team because as they said, we did that and we're doing this and we're being very successful with doing it. So if you all haven't, those of you out, and wait a minute, I'll give over the mic in a moment. Those of you out there, if you have not experienced our virtual training, our gold training, please do so. You'll be pleasantly surprised as well as pleased.
And just to add to Sharon's, I mean, that is all absolutely correct. We switched quickly. We did it successfully. People have been very pleased. Even those hesitating initially because they were not familiar with forms. We were able to help them through that and connect with them. We've trained over 7,000 individuals in the last, I think, 6 to 9 months even. So a lot of people we've been able to train. We can, as Sharon said, we're on demand. So we're an email away. We'll connect immediately. If there's an issue to be resolved or questions to be answered, we are there within minutes. So really, really useful technology resource for us. And our customers have loved it.
Yes.
For me, I joined Greiner by One in the middle of the pandemic, so things had already shut down. Right, there was already restrictions on travel, and so when I came in here and I saw Leanne and Sharon and how they implemented this gold training, you would have thought that they had been using this training for years. Like they really had it down to a science by the time I came in, and so it was just impressive to see this team of product specialists who all have expertise in the field and just see the outreach that they have and how passionate they are about training multiple technicians at one time. Very impressive just to see from a phlebotomist standpoint, because I don't think I've witnessed anything like this in the field. And like Sharon said, if you haven't got onto this virtual training, you need to. If you're a part of a leadership team in the clinical laboratory, I highly recommend you reach out to us because we can do a lot of good and make a great impact on your lab.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the final question that I think I have for this group is if someone is watching or listening right now and they do think, my team could benefit from maybe getting some additional virtual training on the products that we're using right now, how would they go about reaching out to your team to schedule that? Is there an email address or should they message us, or how would you prefer that someone contact you to maybe set up a virtual training?
So I think the best website to go to is either greinerbio1.com or the PSTEAM at Greiner GBO, PSTEAM at gbo.com. That way we can help you, whether it's just your interest in the product or you would like to experience the virtual training that we provide. We're happy to assist in any way. And thank you, Mackenzie. I think you just added that to the note. Perfect.
Yeah, so the information's in there if anybody would like to reach out. Also, I know you're on our Facebook page right now if you're watching, so you can feel free as well to message the Facebook page for Greiner, and I'm the facilitator behind that page, so I will make sure to connect you with one of these wonderful people or another member of our product specialist team, because it is a robust team of very experienced people, so we know that you'd be in good hands with any one of them. I know we are coming up on the 30-minute threshold, so I just want to end by just allowing anybody to say any final thoughts or remarks that they want to make about the EvoProtect or the training or any of the other topics that we've discussed in this 30 minutes that kind of flew by for me. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'll open it up to you guys for any final thoughts.
I just have one. Thank you all so much in attendance today. I appreciate you taking your time out to basically listen to us and share with us about our conversation regarding Evo. Evo is a game changer. And so please, if you've got the opportunity, reach out to your supervisor, reach out to whomever to say, hey, I saw this Facebook live session with people from Greiner Bio 1. Can you please see about getting us that Evo? So again, thank you. And thank you for your work during the pandemic if you're working.
And I would say if you're looking for safety and gentleness for your patient, EvoProtect is the product. It is great. It is a game changer in the industry. We're really, really excited about this and happy that you could join today. Thank you so much. And don't forget, contact us to have our gold training presented to you. That's Greiner Bio 1 online training for our devices.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching this in the next coming weeks, I hope we gave you some very informative information. And yeah, feel free to reach out to us. Myself, I would love to talk to as many phlebotomists around the country and nurses and any other medical staff that's drawing blood, and just help them out and help them learn. So that's my passion, and I can tell you that the rest of this product specialist team has a passion for educating. So reach out to us, and we'd love to help you out.
Excellent. And thank you all so much for giving your time and your expertise to be with us today on the live. It was wonderful. Like I said, it went super fast for me. It was so interesting to hear about. So for anyone that's listening, again, it's in the comments there. You can go to www.gbo.com, or you can message our Facebook page or the email address that I put in the comments that Leanne spelled out for you. Any of those ways to contact us about gold training. There's also a link as well for a product sample or a product demonstration specifically for you and your facility if you'd like to sample EvoProtect. We're happy to get that out to you. We're very excited to get this product out to the market. Like we said a couple times, it's going to be a game changer. So thank you all for joining us today. Leanne, Eddie, Sharon, thank you so much for your time. And with that, we're going to end our live stream, but we hope to hear from many of you in the next coming days or maybe minutes. Who knows?
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Have a good day.